This week started with someone analyzing how I run, properly analyzing it. KPIs, single leg strength, balance, all the things we usually pretend we are okay at. And by the end of the week, my knee had also offered its own polite critique. Somewhere in between, I run in circles to avoid the cold, discovered my single leg strength isn't as solid as I imagined, and accidentally turned a supposedly easy session into something more ambitious. It's the kind of week that quietly humbles you. The polite tap on the shoulder that says, you are doing okay, but there's work to do. And that's exactly the lens I carried through every run, every gym session, and even the loops around the park during this week. Now, if you are new here, I genuinely appreciate your time. I'm also new on YouTube, and I'm building this channel slowly and intentionally, the same way this week unfolded in terms of running. I really want to learn how to position myself better in front of the camera and improve my storytelling skills, and this is the first step. If this somehow resonates with you, consider subscribing and being part of this from the beginning. There's something powerful about growing quietly, but together. Even if you've had a 1-degree shift, not in running or in running, kind of week, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Now, back to the running week. I've started today with a running assessment to understand till what extent I am symmetrical on my both legs. So far so good. I woke up very early, it's not great, so I'm quite tired, and I'm now doing a 30-minute easy run just to keep up with the pace. The rest of the week leaned heavily into the functional side of training. Treadmill incline work, elliptical sessions guided by the lactate threshold and the VO2 max numbers that we have shared last week. And I have to admit, I don't love treadmill running. I always feel slightly over-aware of myself, like I'm being studied by a machine, and the elliptical isn't exactly poetic either. But it serves a purpose. What I realized this week is that I'd been doing the elliptical slightly too easily, not widely off, just a little bit under the intention objective. Once I adjusted the effort to actually match the data, It felt different, more deliberate. Around the 35-45 minute mark, I get a dull ache under my foot. It's consistent enough to notice, but not loud enough to stop. So I log it mentally as I've been doing. That's been the tone of this week. Notice, adjust, and don't dramatize. One session without a heart rate monitor drifted slightly harder than I initially planned. Again, nothing major, but enough to remind me that feel can be misleading when you are used to pushing a little bit harder. Precision matters more than what we call enthusiasm in running. Then Saturday arrived. Cold winter sun in the UK, bright, sharp air, the kind that makes you feel awake whether you want to be or not. This is still my favorite run of the week. 50 minutes, around 8 kilometers, a long run for where I currently am. It felt steady, and I have underestimated the cold slightly and ended up running in loops instead of heading out further. There's something reassuring about that, the fact that you are closer to your home. I'm less interested in how the route looks and more interested in whether the work gets done or not. The engine feels like it's building, not dramatically, not in leaps, but just consistently. Ankle discomfort afterwards, not enough to concern me, but just enough to respect it. And after the week analysis, you pay more attention to those small things differently than you did in the past. So cold today. Oh my god. I thought it would be okay. Like -1 or -3. Well, in fact it's 1 positive, but it feels like -1 or -3. It is so cold out here. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to run in circles because I don't know if I will have to stop and go back home. The plan today, anyway, is to maintain a 135, 145 heart rate. So I'm monitoring my heart rate and I'm hoping for the best. Oh my gosh, it's so cold.
When you're path is also full of ponds and very mushy. There's a lot of mud. We had already worse days than these. But these shoes that are new, it's a problematic stuff, but it's okay. It's manageable. It's so beautiful to run out there like this. So beautiful. Today is love day, 14th of February. Just a slight touch above 8k. All done. 15 minutes in the bank for the next one.
Sunday was strength work, single leg focus, exactly what the KPIs have highlighted. It felt aligned. Then I moved into plyometrics. On the first set, my right knee suggested we should reconsider, so I did. And in fact, I have stopped. Not because I hurt badly, but because the week had already made one thing clear. Building properly matters more than completing everything in the running world. Stopping felt responsible rather than frustrating, which for me, it's probably considered to be growth. By the end of the week, my knee had delivered its polite feedback. The cold loops had reminded me that winter has its own schedule, and the analysis had clarified where the gaps actually are. The week quietly reinforced the same idea I started with. You are doing okay, but there's work to do. And the funny part is, it wasn't dramatic. No grand disasters, no heroic breakthroughs, just small ordinary reminders delivered consistently throughout the week. It's encouraging in its own understanding and way. The ceilings aren't the problem. The foundations, for the most part, are. So next week, a bit of monotony will start building up again. No more analysis, just running excitement. Strength where it's needed. Aerobic work done properly and signals monitored carefully, and hopefully still enjoying Saturdays, even if they involve a new extra loop. Same gentle humbling, same insight, just a little bit more awareness. And that's exactly the kind of progress that actually lasts in running. Thank you.
See you on the next one. Well, my apparel, I know that you might find me a little bit funny, but I'm not from these temperatures, so I have to dress up a little bit just to make sure